random button 12 times. And after the 12th time, that will give us the official list. And the person on top in the number one spot will get the first card coming out of this pack right underneath the gum. The 10th card will be the last card in the pack. And 12 times it is. Tony, you get the first card in the pack. Coulter, you get the last card in the pack. And we are now ready to go. Yep, something like that. We need ping pong balls. You know, Charles just brings up a good point. I'm familiar with Mike Oz on Yahoo. Mike opens up 80s cards with baseball players and gets them to share their stories. Listen, I'm a big baseball fan. I love basketball. I mean, I love all sports. I'm a sick Jets fan in football. So, you know, yeah, I listen. I don't like to bring it up, especially with you Bostonites. I mean, it's just like so abusive. And I mean, I just bring it up. I bring it on myself. You know, what am I going to do? Absolutely. Well, 5 or 10 years ago, 5 or 10 years from now, I feel like you guys are going to be regretting getting rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so once again, the first card was underneath the gum, so we're going to take off this nasty piece of gum. We're not going to subject Rico to eating it because I feel like it probably would not make him feel very well. Yep. All right, so let's see how stuck this gum is, in fact. Let's see what it looks like from the front. So from the front, this is really cool. It's a really it's a really well-centered. There's your question answered, Lou. ABA leaders. So it's Artis Gilmore, Mel Daniels, who recently passed away, and the Doc right in the middle. This is a gorgeous card. So let's see about this gum. We got to slowly deal with that. I've heard you may be able to put it in a freezer, all sorts of stuff. We're gonna put it aside for now. We're gonna deal with that afterwards. Oh, this is nice. Artis Gilmore, All-Star, ABA. Oh, I'm sorry. This is actually card number 2. I apologize because we just showed the first card. So card number 2 is going out to William. And Lou, what's really cool is if you check out like the snow white borders, the razor sharp corners. Now listen, you can't do much about the centering, but it's really fun to open packs of cards when the cards look like this. Yep. Here's a card designating the ABA championship with Rick Barry from the Nets, and it looks like the Indiana Pacers. These guys, it looks like on YouTube, are trying to push me to get me to eat the gum. And the thing is, I'm supposed to put my son to bed tonight. I'd really like to get home for it, not have any problems. Here we go. We got a Rick Barry ABA championship card when he was still on the Nets, against George McGinnis, who's also a Hall of Famer. So Rick Barry and George McGinnis are both Hall of Famers. See if the centering gets a little bit better in this pack. Charlie Williams coming up. Ooh. So this is where the PSA Pop Report starts coming in here, Lou. So I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really know who Charlie Williams is. Yes, it's a very cool name. The Memphis Conquistadors. If I had to say that 5 times in a row, I have no idea what would happen to me. Nope. But if you look at that centering, near perfect, all around, razor sharp corners, so a solid 9+. Every now and then, have to measure it to see if it's possible for a 10. But that's a gorgeous card. So if you wanted to look up what you think it may be worth, what I would start with is looking at the Pop Report at psacard.com and looking up card 231. Freddie, can you do that for us? Look up 72 Topps Basketball, card number 231. We'd like to know the Pop Report on that. How many 10s there are.
231.
Exactly. Oh, absolutely. So, on occasion, there'll be gum stains, all sorts of fun stuff that we come across. And so we deal with it the best that we can. Generally when we're securing and buying product, we try to stay away from stuff like that. But, obviously it's not perfect. So what's so special about that Bowman Cello pack was that there was no gum in that pack. So there was really no risk of the gum melting or anything like that. Hey, John.
Was that Gail Gilligan?
It was Charlie Williams, card 231.
Charlie Williams. Okay. There's 43 nines and 4 10s.
Wow, so that's really cool, Lou. So there's 43 nines, which is a few, but there's only 4 PSA 10s. So my guess is it's probably one of the tougher 10s to find in the set. That's really cool. Now, I don't recall, was one of the Van Arsdales a Hall of Famer or no? Okay. All right, well, Lee Winfield is coming up here, and he's on the now defunct Supersonics. And if you remember Kevin Durant, KD started his career with Supersonics, and they moved over to OKC. Jerry Lucas, Hall of Famer. Look at this. Wow, yeah. I mean, he looks like he's ready to go out to dinner there. I mean, he's got the parted hair like perfect. Like, who plays basketball with perfectly parted hair? Really, I have to ask that. Yeah. So that's spot 8, Hall of Famer. Just a hair off left to right. But what's so cool is, let's get back to Mickey for a second for 55 Bowman. This just goes to show you how absurd it is that the mantle came out as nice as it did, with the centering the way it did, as sharp as it did, because you just never know. Woof. Unbelievable. Card number 9. Jim Davis, formerly of the Pistons. And last card in the pack. This is going out to Coulter. Johnny T from the Bullets. This looks to be a pretty nice card. Left to right, fairly strong centering. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, what's interesting about vintage basketball memorabilia, which I collect. So, like, for example, a uniform like this, which, can you imagine going out in the town like that? That's a dime piece right there. Look at that. So, you know, people collect for the styles. So it doesn't have to be a star player. Like Earl Monroe was on the Bullets at one time, but it doesn't have to be Earl Monroe's Bullets uniform. If it's a desirable style, it could be anyone's. Exactly. So we're going to work on getting that gum off for card number 1. We'll do that afterwards. But that concludes your 1972 Topps basketball pack. Yep, Johnny 5, if you can get that ready, the 81 O-Pee-Chee, while we're doing